Hey, Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yahshua, Bashem Rawah Kodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles at Great Millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere argument across the world. Shalom. Right, so last week, as I left off, Yahweh Ratazah, I'm going to kind of continue, where I kind of left off with Baruch, because of the curses that came upon the Jacob descendants, and therefore, by those curses, you know who the Jacob descendants are. That's one. And second, then you know why we're going through these things that we're going through, because a lot of Jacob descendants still don't know until this day why certain things are happening to them. So, and it all coincides with basically the end of Esau society, which we are in right now, the last leg of the Roman Empire, the latter days of the last days is where we are right now. So Baruch 2 and 1. Therefore Yahweh, Baruch in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 1. Therefore Yahweh had made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah. So who are our judges? Well, Deuteronomy 32 and 31. For their rock is not as our rock. Our rock is Yahweh, and their rock is, Satan, basically. They have different names, like, for example, Baal Hadad. No, Hadad is Baal. That's why a lot of people in the Syrian Empire, they had the name Hadad and all that. They're also Aram. But that Hadad goes back to Baal. You can Google it if you want to. If you type in, is Hadad Baal, then you will see like, oh, it is Baal. And it's the Assyrians that called the sun god Ra. They called him basically Nimrod, which is Baal. You can Google that too. You will see all the history going back to the Assyrian Empire when they were talking about that when Nimrod died, then he was deified. And thousands of years later on, they still worshipped him. Because remember, the Assyrian Empire is still a part of the Mesopotamian region, which is the land of Shinar, which also is the land of Aram. But yet, Daniel's 9:12, and he had confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil, for under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem. So, that's the reason that we are in this predicament that we are in right now. Scattered among the nations, very few scattered among the nations, by the way. Because you could go, for example, you could go like in Amsterdam, right? So you walk around. I'm talking about the city. I'm not talking about, other places and stuff like that. But if you go to the city, you might, for example, as I see right now, I see one Jake. That's it. We're few in numbers compared to the heathen nations. Right? Anyway, going on. That's because I'm in the city. But if you go to like Jake places and stuff like that, you're gonna see a lot of Jakes. But yeah, even then they're not really worried about this truth, man. They're not really interested, I should say. They're not really interested. It's only when, trouble started hitting them, then they start asking questions, getting in contact with me or somebody else. Yeah. Or on the comment board, then they're active. But as soon as everything dies down, Esau start, fondling them, you could say. Then all of a sudden, they cool cat. They ain't got nothing to say. Anyway, Baruch 2 and 2. To bring upon us great plagues such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. So this was already prophesied that we would go through these things. That's another way of showing you that the people that call themselves Israelis are not the real Israelites. Verse 3, because the curses don't fit them. Verse 3, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. By the way, when I came up here, I saw my neighbor, like a young Jacob descendant. He's like, what, 20 or 18? Something like that. And he told me, he came at the store, he told me like, man, €5 for a bottle of peanut butter right now. I said, what? A bottle of peanut butter, man. He went to the store to go get something for his bread. It's Saturday today, so most likely, you know, he's gonna eat bread in the morning. And yeah, now it's €5, man. A fucking bottle of peanut butter, man. That shows you what Esau's doing, man. That really shows you. That should show you, man. But he bought a brand though. I saw the brand, Calfe. He should have bought another one. But then again, you know, them ingredients that they put up in it make it taste good. When I tasted it, it tastes like shit to me. But yeah, I understand that a lot of people might like it. It's a brand. Verse 4. Moreover, he had delivered them to be delivered. What? He had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation among the people round about, where the Lord had scattered them. So that's the reason why we are where we are right now, scattered among the heathen nations, and they have the rulership over our people, man. That's why they can charge you €5 for a fucking bottle of peanut butter. Crazy shit, man. That's crazy. But the Most High is making it to where that famine is being set up right now. Everything is going to be scarce, you know, scarcity. And then they're going to justify themselves talking about, well, it's scarcity and war and all that type of shit. As if one war, one country can actually mess everything up. But then again, remember that this is all set up. So when they're talking about, you know, that the yen is falling and this and that, remember Revelation 17 says that they have all given power to the beast, and they agreed upon one another, upon each other. Wait, let me get it. Revelation 17, and also what's the other one again? Revelation 17. Let me get this one first. Revelation 17 and 16, and the 10 horns. 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For Yahweh had put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast. So it's all a setup. When they acting as if, you know, the yen, they need the yen and the props up for the euros, they act like they're angry with each other. You have the lower ones that have no idea what the higher ones are doing. So, okay, they officially angry. Like that female that was a MAGA chick, but then she found out, like, Trump is like, get the fuck out of here. And then she turned on him, and then he basically kicked her out of there, and he said the MAGA movement, she said, MAGA movement is dead. I don't know the bitch name. It's some yellow-haired chick, whatever. But she's in the politics or some dumb shit. Not some dumb shit, but she's in the politics. But anyway, she said, yeah, MAGA is dead. Why? Because you got dissed. Because if you didn't get dissed by Trumpy boy, or, you know, you got what you wanted, it wouldn't be dead. But now it's dead because you see, like, hey, this guy's against us. Yeah, he is against you. He's for the interest of the elites of Esau, and also, of course, Amalek. Because the elites of Esau is doing it too. JP Morgan is not Amalek. You have others of them that are not Amalek. They don't claim Amalek. You have others that do claim Amalek. I do understand that you have some of them, they fake it. You know, they fake it that they are not Amalek, so they change their names. But loose from that, you have different Edomite rulers also here in Europe that cling onto Amalek, and also they do their biddings. And they also want to oppress the rest of the Edomites. For example, in England, in Spain, for example, when the North Africans, which are Arabs, it was only Arabs, because I looked at the video, I saw no Hamites, it was Arabs. So they came to Spain and all that their type of stuff to basically bomb rush the country, and then you had people over there afraid. And I was thinking to myself, that's the same thing that you did back in the days. You invaded other countries, now they're invading you. And you got a problem with it. Deal with it. Why don't you go to war? Right? Now you know what the natives felt. Native Americans. Now you know what well, you don't know yet. Not yet. But you have a kind of idea how irritating it is when another nation just comes in uninvited. trying to seek for a so-called better life, right? Well, they did the same thing in Australia. So they did the same thing in South Africa. So you're gonna get yours. Revelation 17 and let me see here, 16. I already read that. 17, for Yahweh had put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree with one another, and give their kingdom unto the beast. That's when that microchip is going to be introduced. Like I said, that whole fiasco that's going down right now concerning the money system, why you have peanut butter for fucking €5, man. That's what they're doing right now. But it's all a setup. Like I said, eventually they say like, hey man, it's the only way we can actually lower the prices is if you get that chip. If you get that chip, then everything is gonna be good. They're gonna lie to you once more. Just like how they lied to you, like if you get that vaccine, then doors will open unto you. You can do more things, more freedom. People that got that vaccine, they said, okay, you need to take a booster shot, and then you're gonna get that freedom. Eventually, they didn't get shit. They got screwed over. A few people that I know, they're dead and gone right now, man. Yeah, it's crazy to even talk about it like that, But that female Judy Mikovich, she said, once you take that little, how'd you call that creature again? That bacteria, Hydra. Once you take that Hydra, boy, you got 5 years to live. Take that Tuskegee syphilis experiment style. Once you take that, you got 5 years. They ain't going to experiment on you for like 40 years. Wow, they ain't got time for that. 1932 or something like that until 72, something like that. 40 years. Well, you haven't got that much time, and they're not about experimenting as to see, well, what's going to happen to you. No, they're about that. You still here, and if you're still here, then they're gonna make you how you gonna pay for hospital bills, because you're gonna need it, unless you just want to die. A lot of people don't want to die, so they cough up the money or put themselves in debt. But they ain't gonna help because they know you're about to die, and therefore you're not gonna be able to pay off that debt. Let me go on. So, so Revelation 17:17. For Yahweh had put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. That's America. Oh, so they all, like I said, it's a setup. Their end result is to cancel all the money in circulation, the bills, because things are going to get higher in the costs and all that there. And plus the Most High is going to set up that famine, like He does in the book of 2 Kings chapter 9 verse 1, and also 7 and also 8 and also 6, but I think it's 9 and 2 or 9 and 1 or 9 and 2 or 8 and 1 and 8 and 2. So 2 Kings 8 verse 1 or verse 2, or 2 Kings 9 verse 1 and verse 2, where Elisha told the woman, listen, you need to get out of here, because the Most High is going. The Most High is going. I'm telling you, the Most High is going to bring famine 7 years upon the land. You need to get out of here. And she left. She took the advice of the prophet Elisha, and then she left. And then after 7 years, she came back. Well fed. She lived in the midst of the Philistines, which are in Mizraim, for 7 years. Okay, let me go on. So it says right here, going back to Baruch chapter 2 verse 3, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. That's what's coming. Like, you see these ridiculous prices. €5 a fucking bottle of peanut butter. That's a new blow right there. But that's what they're doing. Like I said, breaking down the money system is something that they've been desiring to do. That's why you see movies like Equilibrium from the guy from American Psycho, if I'm correct. American Me? No. What was it again? He was playing a psychopath and murderer. American Psycho, if I'm correct, is that movie. Anyway, this guy's name is, I think, Christian Bale or something. He played in the Moses movie. That guy? Right. Equilibrium, something like that. And then you have another one which is damn, I forgot that one. So Elysium. This one is with Matt Damon. He looked like that Mark Wahlberg dude. Yo, I don't know these people's name, man. When I see him, anyway, they look alike, but they don't look alike. But they look alike. There's something about them that's similar. I don't know, their spirit or something. I don't know. And by the way, not their spirit. I don't know. Something is about them that kind of makes me think of the other one. And then when I see him, I think of the other one, which is just weird, right? So Baruch 2 and 4, moreover, he had delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be a reproach and a desolation among the people round about, where the Lord had scattered them. So as the Most High is the one that caused us to be all up in the midst of the heathens, and you could say we outnumbers, man. But once that time comes, one of us will chase 1,000 of them, which is good that they outnumber us for now. Verse 5. Thus were we cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against Yahweh our power, and have not been obedient unto his voice, which his voice are the prophets. So that's why, if you don't listen right now to starting with the elder apostles at Great Millstone, them first, and then you have the prophets over there first too, and then you got the men of the Lord across the planet Earth and all that there also. So going on. So it says right here. Verse 6. To Yahweh our power are pertained righteousness, but unto us, as to our fathers, open shame, as appeareth this day. Yeah, the shame of what happened to us and stuff like that. But the Most High is going to set it up to where that shame shall be turned into fame and great glory. That's Zephaniah chapter 3, I think, if I'm correct. Going on, verse 7. For all these plagues are come upon us, which Yahweh had pronounced against us through Moses in the book of Deuteronomy and throughout, Leviticus 26, for example. So it's already been prophesied that would happen to us. But the fact that it happened, that should make you just laugh. I was laughing reading this chapter, man, just a few minutes ago. Sitting on my way toward over here, I was reading and I was laughing at the destruction of Jake. I thought it was funny, but not as in haha laugh, but more as in man, because in the same breath, the Most High said how He's gonna actually cure us and fix us up. Like Isaiah chapter 1, the whole house is sick, but the Most High got that ointment. But yeah, He said it in that same chapter, and I started laughing. It's like the laughter of pending joy. Psalms 126 also. First shows our troubles, and then the blessing, which is a short chapter, by the way. It's like 7 or 8 verses. So Baruch chapter 2, verse 8. 8. Yet we have not prayed before Yahweh, that we might turn everyone from the imagination of his wicked heart. This is why you need to pray continually in Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, because the wicked imaginations, they come up in your head, man. It don't matter what you think you are. You think you're tough? We're gonna find out. You think you're strong? We're gonna find out. That's like a dude, right, that think he is a super strong player, and then, doing all kind of shit, and then a girl hit him, pow, and then he crying. Or it begin with a girl that messed him up, and from there on, he's mean to bitches. You a woman. You also a woman. You go take your vengeance out on females that have nothing to do with that shit that you went through. Instead of treating people how you're treated. You go out there and be a beast. Well, it's all good, man. And fuck these bitches for trusting you in the first place. I'm not coming up for them. The only thing I have to say is, if you want an adultery tip and I get that power, you're a dead man. I ain't playing. We're gonna see. Hey, he's jealous. Yeah. Jealousy indicates that you want something from someone that the person has, or you can't stand it that person has something. I don't give a flying lily motherfucker how many bitches you got. Like I said, I'm not doing it for them. Fuck them. Like, for example, them females that got their ass twisted by that devil, Andrew Tate, right? That demon. But anyway, all them females that be doing that shit, right? Fuck them. They wanted to go over there to him. Nobody pushed him. Nah, man, they saw the glory that he had, the carnal glory. They saw the big fucking snout that he has. They saw the big snout that he has, right? And then the boasting and all that there, you know, that he hate Jake. They saw all that shit that was like, you know, when you go join him too. And then you got your ass pimped out and smacked around. Good for you. Now bow down to him. And once that time comes, he gonna get his ass smoked for all the shit that he been doing. But other than that, Lord willing, I just wait until he destroys y'all, and then he's gonna pay. I ain't coming up for no female, bro. Let them fight for themselves. Why? Because I seen shit like where you know, dude come up for the girl, knock the dude out, and she fight him after she got her ass beat right there on the street. Some crazy shit. Don't mingle with, don't bother yourself with these people. Don't meddle. I said mingle, I mean meddle. Yeah, mingle is good too, but I meant to say don't meddle with them, with their relationship and stuff like that. It's them, so let them do what they do. If she gets sold, you know, lover boy style, hey, it's not my motherfucking problem. You fell for him. You know, you should have known better. Anyway, so verse 9. So it says, wherefore Yahweh watched over us for evil, and Yahweh had brought it upon us. He's the one that watched over us for that evil, and he's the one that brought it upon us, right? Read it again. Wherefore Yahweh watched over us for evil, and Yahweh brought it upon us. Romans, well, let me finish stuff. For the Lord is righteous in all his works, which he had commanded us. And the evil that he brought upon us was in the book of, for example, is many more, but for example, in the book of Romans 13, where he's the one that set up these, sorry, something is in my hand, that set up these rulers here. Damn it. Fuck bullshit. He's the one that set up the rulers to rule over us, and the Most High said that these rulers, they don't bear the sword in vain. So when they actually smoke somebody, is the Heavenly Father actually set them up to do so. But he's going to pay for it. Just like Isaiah chapter 10, where it speaks about that, you know, the king of Assyria, he was the one that the Most High set up to be the rod against Jacob, to be our judges. And they did judges. But then he started to fill himself, and therefore the Most High smoked him out, you know, destroyed him so much that people don't even remember the Assyrian Empire anymore, to a certain degree. Especially the people that be reading the Bible, the so-called Christians and stuff like that. Whether it be Christians from West Africa, whether it be Christians from South America, whether it be so-called Christians from North America, or Christians from Europe. I'm talking about Jakes and Edomites. You know, they don't know shit, man. When you talk about, you know who the Assyrian Empire is? I read about it. Sometimes they didn't even hear about it. Or you tell them, what is the Aram Empire? They have no idea. When you say Syrian, then it'd be like, oh yeah, I heard about it. Stuff like that. But other than that, they have no idea what's actually what's actually written in the scriptures, man. Because they're not being taught. Therefore, you know, they give money for bread, which is not bread. They pay their tithes to the churches and stuff like that, right? I'm not talking about give me tithes. No, fuck that. You should give, boy, keep your money. You should give the elder apostles and stuff like that. I'm not with that. I myself pay tithes, so I don't need tithes from no one. Anyway, so it says right here, verse 10, ye have not hearkened. Wait. Yeah. Yet we have not hearkened unto his voice to walk in the commandments of Yahweh that he had set before us. So now we're getting back to it. You know, now you refrain from certain type of things. You don't do certain things. You know, I know Jacob descendants, they have nothing of the Bible, no understanding, nothing, and still they keep laws that are mentioned in the scriptures, and I know that because I look at them. Like, right? They do it. Yeah, slippery fish, which is actually the people of the country that I'm from. So not only, but a lot of them they don't eat slippery fish, pork, shrimps. So I know that they have something within them, but not according. They have a seal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Some of them don't even want to hear nothing about the scriptures, man. You know, they don't want to hear nothing because in their mind is Esau. No matter how, even if I show scriptures like, you know, leprosy is pale skin and all that there, and that's wicked. And yellow hair, it's still a curse and all that there. Leprosy and all that there, and they still don't. They still, I don't know. If I would read that, I would be like, oh, so wait a minute. And I show them scriptures of Yahweh Shai being a woolly-haired man, burnt skin. They still don't. I don't know. Something doesn't click in their head, but I understand it because it's just like with when John and James, if I'm correct, when they went in front of Yahweh Shai to the people, and then they said, Lord, should we rain fire from heaven and destroy them? Then the Lord said, no, man, what are you doing? You coming in the spirit of Satan, actually. If you do that, why? Because if you smoke him now, what about maybe 10 years later? He might change. He might think upon the things that you told him and then change his mind and then turn to Yahweh Shai. And I have seen that, man. And that's why I understand that scripture even more. Like, you don't smoke them right now, man. It's not a good idea. And once that time comes, then either the Most High is going to open up their minds, or then they're really going to be put down on that list to be like, an exorcism. because you got spirits on you then. And then the exorcism, you need to be released. Your soul needs to be released from your body. Exorcism. Anyway, so Baruch chapter 2, verse, let me see, 11. And now, O power Yahweh, power of Israel, that has brought thy people out of the land of Mizraim with a mighty hand, a high arm, and with signs and with wonders and with great power, and has gotten thyself a name as appertaineth this day. And he did get a name, but his name I don't want to say quenched out, but his name was actually taken from the people of the planet Earth, because back in the days, everybody know that those are the Jacob descendants. Everybody would know that, their power is Yahweh. When you read the Second Kings, you will see that the Assyrian Empire, they knew Ashur, they knew, and Aram Empire, they knew Yahweh, and Moab knew Yahweh Bashem Yasha also, and they knew. So they knew the name, they knew everything, and they knew exactly also how to trip us up, like Balaam in Numbers 25, and then Numbers 30 or 31. You can see that Balaam figured out, like, hey, you can't fight against Jacob. So what did they do? They waited, they actually sent women and waited until they started to sin with the women, started worshiping other gods, and then the Most High himself started to kill them. But the Most High said in Numbers 25 that they're going to pay. They caused the Most High to kill them because they went to their gods. And therefore the Most High said, get the Midianites for me. Get them for me. Smoke them. And also Moab and Ammon. But it was Moab and Ammon's idea, but the Midianites did it. And at that time, the Chaldeans were there too, which Balaam was basically one of those type of people, right? From Mesopotamia. Let me go on. So Baruch 2 and 11. 12. O Yahweh, our power, we have sinned, and we have done ungodly. We have dealt unrighteously in all thine ordinances. So all the ordinances that the Most High set up for us in order for us to do, the Most High so we started to sin in that. We started to sin in that. 13. Let thy wrath turn from us, for we are but few left among the heathen, where thou hast scattered us. That's why we so few left among the heathens in every country that we go. Every countries that we go, every single individual country that we actually go, the Jacob descendants are in a minority. Right? In the heathen countries that we go up in. 14. Hear our prayers, O Yahweh, and our petition, and deliver us from for thine own sake, and give us favor in the sight of them which have led us away. And what type of favor is that? That favor, am I moving? I think I'm moving. That favor is, let me get it actually, because I just talked about it, which is, if I'm correct, Zephaniah 3. This is the favor that the Most High is going to give us. Zephaniah 3 and 19. It says, Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and will save her that halteth, which is people that have, physical ailments, and gather her that was driven out. And I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. So every land, where just like in the book of Baruch 2, where it speaks about to us, so to the Most High there's glory, and to His name forever and all times, but to us and our fathers is shame and a reproach. So in Zephaniah 3 and 19, it explains that the Most High is going to give us fame in the lands where we have been put to shame under His name, through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The shame that we gathered up together. Like I said, I was laughing, man. Reading it, I was like, yeah, cool. It's all good. In the lands where we have been put to shame, there shall we be brought to fame, basically, under the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yeah, man. Haven't seen him in a long time. Used to go to school with that guy. So it says right here. Yeah. So Baruch 2 and 15, that all the world may know that thou art Yahweh, our power, because Israel and his posterity is called by thy name. So everybody gonna know, according to Deuteronomy 28, also verse 10, if I'm correct, all shall know that thou art called by my name and shall be afraid of thee. Basically is what the blessing is set to be. It's set to be. So it says right here, 16, so Baruch 2:16, O Yahweh, look down from thy holy house and consider us, bow down thine ear, O Yahweh, to hear us. Because the Most High is not really listening to Jacob's descendants that are in this world, man. Like on First John chapter 2 verse 15, where it speaks about that he that loveth the world, basically the love of the Father is not in him. So you have a lot of Jacob descendants that love this world, man. They really do. They can't get enough of it, man. They always want to go to parties, feasting, just do clown shit, buffoonery even. Yeah. Verse 17. Open thine eyes and behold, for the dead that are in the graves, whose souls are taken from their bodies, will give unto Yahweh neither praise nor righteousness, because they're dead. They can't praise you. They can't do no righteousness, and the Most High is smoking us. So Jacob is dying from diseases, pestilences, of course. There's all type of mannerisms, man. Most High is snuffing us out. Verse 18, but the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, and the eyes that fail, and the hungry soul will give thee praise and righteousness, O Yahweh. The ones that are hungry, whether it be physical or mental. The ones that eyes fail, whether it be physical or mentally, like, man, I'm getting tired of this shit. Because you want to have that righteousness back. Especially once you start understanding that, okay, this is where we were. Look, you know what the thing is, man? A lot of people that, they don't read the scriptures, man. They don't really know the glory of Jacob, man. It's crazy. They don't know the glory of Jacob, man. You talk to certain people, man, and they are teachers themselves, man. Or I should say they just read scriptures just like me. I read scriptures too. But anyway, they don't know certain things, man. I'm looking at them like, did you ever read the Bible yourself, man? Or did you just study via video and stuff like that? Which is, I did that, so it's not a bad thing. But you need to read too, man. You can't just only tune in and then you go up in the scriptures and make precepts and all that there. You need to read for yourself, man. You can't just sit back and not read for yourself, man. If you don't read for yourself, you're not gonna know stories, man. You're not gonna know stuff. You're not gonna know all the contradiction that people come with that actually do study the scriptures in order to find those contradictions according to them. According to them, they're contradictions, but they find them on purpose, man, just to battle you, and then you need to know about it. See, if you don't, well, it's not that you're confounded, but it's more as you're unaware. I wanted to say ignorant. You're unknowing. For example, let me I will come back to this. So this is Baruch chapter 2 verse 19. Okay. I'm gonna give you an example of how the scriptures might be confusing if you don't know what you're actually reading. So this is the book of wait a minute. Oh, there. Okay. No. I didn't get to it yet. I was reading. I was looking for something. Okay, but yeah, this is what I was talking about. That you need to read the scriptures for yourself, in order for yourself to come stumble upon these so-called contradictions or these so-called things that people might use against you, in the hopes that it will tumble you, and then you're kind of confounded. You shouldn't let that be their victory. And let's say you got not cornered, but ambushed, ambush journalism. Let's say somebody pull up on you and ask a question, so now you don't know. Well, the scripture says that who is it again? The things that I didn't know, I searched out. Who was that again? Searched out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Job 29:16. It says here, I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out. So if you don't know some, I'll go figure it out. That's what I try to do. So I do my own thing. You need to figure out stuff of yourself. You can't be told all the time. Being told is good, but eventually you're gonna be alone, and therefore you don't have nobody to ask questions. For example, right? I had this going back years, bro. Going back years. Questions I ask, people don't know what I'm asking because they're not really prepared, and they don't know. And then they had to go study and then hit me back like, okay, this is what it means, and then I know. So I understand that other people have the same thing too. They read and then they might ask me a question, and I'll be like, okay. And if I read it before, then I can answer it right then and there. But if I haven't read it myself, I need to read the chapter myself too, man. And then I could explain to you, like, Yahweh this is what it is, this is what it is, ta 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 ta, and all that there. That's how you learn, and that's how you teach others to know stuff. And also remember, that's like you can fish, you can feed a man a fish every day of your life, right? But if you teach him how to fish, he can do his own thing. That's how you're supposed to be doing, and it's true. You're supposed to guide the sheep, water the sheep, feed the sheep, and protect the sheep from other wolves and stuff like that, and all which are other philosophies actually, just from wolves and stuff like that. And then you teach them how to become a shepherd themselves, or at least a sheep that know how to take care of himself. So when you teach them certain things, and then when they come across another false teacher that do it for filthy lucre's sake, they would understand, like, nah, this guy coming up with his own doctrine and all that there, because I got precepts upon precepts that would actually counter the thing that he just said. No, because it says here, da, 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 da. And once you start getting on that level, people gonna start getting irritated by it. Especially, church jakes. The jakes that go to church trying to tell you something because they're older or something like that, in the eyes of their congregation, they got status. People looking at them, reference them, bow their head when they walk by and greet them. But you're looking at them like, hey. I'm not saying I'm looking down on them, but I mean, like, you're looking at them like, when they say stuff like, who you're talking to. I would say you mean you know who I'm talking with, right? That's what you mean, right? Fuck you mean you know who you're talking to? Fuck them, boy. Boy, you better step out that boundary, boy. Keep yourself. Anyway, let me read on. So it says right here. Where was I again? Oh yeah. Right. So this is the example that I'm giving that I'm gonna give concerning, if you don't read, you're gonna be confused. So there's like the account of Joram, and so King Joram of Ahab and King Joram of Judah, of Jehoshaphat, the son of Jehoshaphat, Joram, and you have Joram, the son of Ahab, and also with the daughter of Omri, and then later on in that same chapter it says the daughter of Ahab. It's the same thing. Just like 2 Kings 9, it says that Jehu is the son of Jehoshaphat, and then he's the son of Nimshi. But in 1 Kings 19, it says that Jehu is the son of Nimshi. He is the son of Nimshi. Just like how you have in the book of, I think, Genesis 40, where it speaks about that Jacob took Ephraim and Manasseh and said, I am their father. He is their father, but he's not their father. But he is their father. Just like how you have Yahushai being the son of David. He is the son of David, but he's not the son of David. See? But he is the son of David. In the physical, I don't want to play around with this King Solomon. I'm talking about the Lord Yahushua himself when he came on the scene. Thousands of years, I think 2,000 years, something like that. Years later, after that King David already passed away. That one, that's what I mean. He's not the son of David, but he is the son of David. We're not the son of Abraham, but we are the sons of Abraham. You see what I'm saying? Abraham had only one son, but we are still the sons of Abraham. That's the same thing with Nimshi, Jehu being the son of Nimshi. It's the same thing. And also Omri, Atalia was the daughter of Omri, but in the same chapter it says, if you scroll down, it says Atalia was the daughter of Ahab. So what is she? She's both, because Omri was the father of Ahab. That's it. And he is the grandfather. If you look up the Hebrew word, the word father is also used for great-grandfather, grandfather, great-great-great-grandfather, great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. It's just a father. So it's not a contradiction. But you have clowns that say, see, the Bible is contradictory. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're reading. And therefore, if you are a reader yourself and somebody come up with that and then you all shook, like, huh? What are you talking about? That's because you didn't read. Nigga. No, I'm playing with you. I just wanted to say it like that. I'm playing. Anyway. But anyway, let me get to the examples. Now this is 2 Chronicles chapter 21 verse 12. And there came a writing to him from Elijah the prophet, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, the power of David thy father. So it's talking about the bloodline of David, right? Okay, cool, cat. Because thou hast not walked in the way of Jehoshaphat thy father, nor in the ways of Asa king of Judah, but has walked in the way of the kings of Israel, which were the calf worshippers, child murderers and shit like that, child sacrifice, all that there. In 2 Kings 2 Kings 17, you see the child sacrifices that they were doing. Anyway, so it says right here, verse 13, but has walked in the ways of the kings of Judah, and has made Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to go a-whoring. The inhabitants of Jerusalem is Benjamin, because that was his area, according to the book of Numbers 27, and according to the book of Numbers 36. You shall not take from border to border and all that there type of stuff. Therefore, Jerusalem is Benjamin, and Jerusalem is also Judah, by the way, because they shared co-custody, you could say. But the whole land was Benjamin's, and Jerusalem was near the border of Judah, so therefore they shared it. And the other one was Ephraim and Manasseh, and then near their border you had Shechem, and then later on the capital was moved to Samaria, because the king, I forgot his name, I think it was Baasha, he bought it from a man named Shemer. It was a hill, and then they built stuff up on the hill, because that's what we used to do. 1 Samuel chapter 9 shows you that the Jacob descendants used to worship in hills and also in mountains, like Mount Horeb, and also Mount Zion. All of them are actual real mountains. But just as a symbolically, we are the mountains, talking about governments, but mountains is actually talking about physical, actual mountains where you had people doing their little worship thing, and hills too, and groves. Having a Christmas tree in your house is a grove, because it's a dead tree. You know, you have a forest in your house, basically, a part of a forest. It's not a forest, but I mean, like, you know, it's a totem pole. And you might think totem poles have to do with Native Americans. No. Type in Japanese totem poles, South Korean totem poles, Chinese totem poles. What else? African, of course, you already know that. African totem poles. But Esau made the word to stick to the natives. When you hear the word totem poles, you think only of natives, right? That's what I thought. Until I started looking it up. Like, what the fuck? Every nation has totem poles, and then they have their little sacred places. I did a video about that. Yahweh wrote this. I'm about to release it, so I'll do it on that. Anyway, let me go on. So it says right here. I did multiple videos on it, by the way. One I haven't uploaded yet, but the other one's already uploaded. So going on. So it says right here. Where was I? Okay, 13. But thou hast also Second Chronicles 21 and 13. But thou hast walked in the way of the kings of Israel, and has made Judah and the inhabitants of Israel to Jerusalem, to go a whoring like to the whoredoms of the house of Ahab, and also has slain thy brethren in thy father's house, which were better than thyself. So this son of a bitch, he murdered all the other brothers of him, and he was one of the descendants of David, and he did that. Just like the northern tribers, basically. There was another one of the northern tribers. Oh no, it was just like Ahimelech in the Book of Judges. Ahimelech in the Book of Judges, the son of Gideon. He snuffed out 70 of his own brethren, and only 2 were left. So that means in total there were 72 brothers. Well, he killed 70. He murdered them. And only 1 was alive, and him. So yeah, going on. So it says, 14. With a great plague will Yahweh smite thy people, and thy children, and thy wives, and all thy goods, and thou shalt have great sickness by disease of bowels, of thy bowels. So this, wait, let me finish it. Until thy bowels fail out by reason of the sickness day by day. So this Jehoram, he was cursed with the curse of the bowel disease, right? Going on. So it says, verse 16. Moreover, Yahweh stirred up against Jehoram. So that's the one that Elijah was talking to in the verse of 12. Elijah was talking to him. So it's Jehoram, the son of Judah, basically the son of David, right? So it says right here, verse 16. Moreover, Yahweh stirred against Jehoram the spirit of the Philistines and of the Arabians that were near the Cushites, which is in Mesopotamia, because there you had Kassites. You can read about that in the book of Judges, chapter 3, verse 8. Those were the king Cushites, well, in this case it was one king, but they were the Cushites that was ruling over Mesopotamia at that time. Those ones, and there you had the Cushites. Most likely descendants of, not specifically only, but when Nimrod went over there, the Cushites, he wasn't alone. It wasn't man. He wasn't alone when he went over there. He went with a whole group of people, because Nimrod wasn't alone. Like, he was with a whole band of his own people. And then they went, and then they conquered the Shemites, and then they took over that region over there in Babylon. And then those people that descend from them, those were the ones that ruled over Mesopotamia in the time of Judges chapter 3, verse 8. And also Habakkuk chapter, I think 2 or 1. Habakkuk 2, where you read about Cushan, that one. And if you read the Bible on a Blue Letter Bible Dictionary thing, the explanation, you will see that they were living amongst the Arabs and Mesopotamia. So that's the Cushites. So let me go on. So it says right here, Second Chronicles 21 and 16. Moreover, Yahweh stirred against Jehoram the spirit of the Philistines and of the Arabians that were near the Ethiopians, which are the Cushites. And they came up into Judah and break into it, and carried away all the substance that was found in the king's house, and his sons also, and his wives, that there were never a son left, save Jehoahaz. So Jehoram, all his sons died. Only one was kept alive, which his name was Jehoahaz, the youngest of his sons. Go into verse 18 now. And after all this, so read it again. Second Chronicles chapter 21, verse 18. And after this, Yahweh smote him in his bowels with an incurable disease. So Jehoram, all his children died, and then one son of his was still kept alive. He escaped, and him, the Most High, hit with that. Not the one that escaped, but the king Jehoram that killed all his brothers. He was the one that the Most High gave that disease, that bowel disease. Verse 19. And it came to pass that in process of time, after the end of 2 years, so he was suffering for 2 years, his bowels fell out by reason of his sickness, and he died of sword diseases. And his people made no burning for him, like the burning of his fathers. Why? Because they hated him. All the wickedness that he did, plus he murdered his whole family. Don't forget about that. So they hated him for it. So they hated him for it, right? They didn't bury him, they didn't mourn for him, sorry. They did bury him. Verse 20. 30 and 2 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 8 years, and departed without being desired. Ain't nobody liked him, because he did wickedness. Howbeit, so even though they didn't like him, howbeit they buried him in the city of David, but not in the sepulchre of the kings. They didn't find him worthy enough to give him a sepulchre of the lineage of David, because they hated him for the shit. But they did have respect unto him because he was the bloodline of David. So they buried him somewhere else. But also with the woman, the Canaanite woman, Jezebel, they wanted to bury her, because the only reason they wanted to bury her is because they said she is the daughter of the king of Tyre, a Sidonian, the king of Sidon. But she is the daughter of the king, so we're gonna bury her for that. And then they went to go look for her, but then the dogs ate her. Only a palm and the head and some part of her torso or something like that was found, because the dogs was really hungry that day, and the dogs shitted it out later that day. Well, tomorrow, you got shitted out by dogs and birds, man, flying around with you in their stomach, and then they shit you out. You got shitted out by a dog. That was the sentence that the Most High said that she would get anyway. So now, okay, it says Jehoahaz. Okay, so now going to the second chapter, Second Chronicles 22 and 1. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Ahaziah, the youngest son, king in his stead. So now the name changed. The name changed from Jehoahaz to Ahaziah. Ahaziah is the same person. But it trips up a lot of people, because now they think because they're dumb. And they're only looking for so-called discrepancies, or whatever they call it. Discrepancies or something? Basically, inconsistencies or contradictions. They're looking for it. And then you're gonna find what you're looking for. But if you go with an open mind, like, hey, let me try and prove this. What's going on? If you're really trying to understand, Yahweh he might wake you up and be like, okay, this is what it actually means. And then you figure it out, like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's what we're here for. That's why the Most High is supping with you. And then you understand. But anyway, so Second Chronicles 22 and 1. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Ahaziah, his youngest son, king in his stead. For the band of men that came with the Arabians, which is which was the Philistines, and near the Cushites. So the Arabians that lived near the Cushites and the Philistines came to fight, right? So let me read it again. Second Chronicles 22 and 1. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Ahaziah, his youngest son, king in his stead. For the band of men that came with the Arabians to camp had slain all the elders. So Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, So Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, reigned. Okay, so now his name is changed into Ahaziah. It's very simple to explain. First and foremost, Jacob, Israel, Esau, Edom, Abram, Abraham. That's just one example. Benoni and Benjamin. But that's another language, by the way. Okay, cool cat. Then you have, for example, Mephibosheth in 1 Samuel or 2 Samuel, if I'm correct. And then I think just Samuel. And then you have 1 Chronicles chapter 9. And if you read down, I don't know which verse, then you see Mephibosheth, his name was changed into Meri-Baal. And his son's name was changed from Micah in Samuel to Micah in Chronicles. Chronicles is like the New Testament. They change names there very, crazy. It's like Elisha and Elijah and Isaiah and Isaiah, something like that, with the New Testament. Well, that's kind of the same thing with Chronicles, but this is not Chronicles. I understand that. Oh, sorry, this is Chronicles. What am I talking about? This is Chronicles, so therefore the name changes and stuff like that. But this is Chronicles in the same book, the 1 Chronicles 21 and then 1 Chronicles 22, and the name changed. So it might look weird, but you can understand that, he might have gotten a name throughout and from the other people, and then, he was called that one and stuff like that, It's just an example. And then another so-called contradiction, which is 2 Chronicles chapter 22, verse 6 now. And he returned to be healed in Jezreel because the wounds which were given him at Ramah of Gilead, in Gad, and that area of Manasseh, but it's Gad. Going on, so it says here in Ramah, when he fought with Hazael, the king of Aram, it says Syria, and Azariah, the king of Jehoram, king of Judah, went down to see Jehoram, the son of Ahab, at Jezreel because he was sick. Okay, now it seems very confusing, so I'm going to say it again. Azariah is Ahaziah, and Ahaziah is Jehoahaz. All three are the same people, but he has three names in less than 7 verses. Well, it's not 7 actually. It's actually, I think it's 10. If you read Second Chronicles 21, verse, I don't know which verse it is. Verse 15 or something. Verse 15, and then until 20. Then the chapter ends, and then you read from 22. So chapter 22, verse 1 until verse 6. So that's maybe 13 verses. It might be 14 or 15. I'm not sure which one exactly it is. Oh yeah, from 17. So from 17 to 20 is 3, and then from 1 to 6 is 6. So therefore it's 9. 9 verses. So in 9 verses, he got 3 names, 3 different names. So it might look hella confusing. And also on top of that, well, okay, this is that part. Okay, so now, so this Jehoram, he died by bowel disease, right? And then his son got 3 names, and then he died by Jehu, right? So now I'm going to go to the other one, which is in 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 22. And it came to pass when Joram, which is Jehoram, saw Jehu, that he said, "Is it peace, Jehu?" And he answered, "What peace?" Because he was like, "Oh, fuck you, man. All the wickedness you and your whole ass mama did, I'm going to smoke you today. I'm going to smoke your friend too." Well, it's your cousin, actually. Your nephew. But anyway, what peace? So long as the whoredoms of thy mother Jezebel, and her witchcraft are so many, you think you're going to get away with all that shit you done did? You and your whole ass mama? I'm going to smoke your ass today. Ain't no peace around here. So going on, so it says right here, 1 Verse 23, and Joram turned his hands and fled and said to Ahaziah, this is the Ahaziah with three names, and said to Ahaziah, there is treachery, O Ahaziah. And Jehu drew a bow with his full strength and smote Jehoram. So now, right here in the same chapter, 2 verses down, his name is changed from Joram to Jehoram. So now you're asking yourself, like, okay, what just happened? Esau. That's what happened. In one chapter, he changes the name of one person 2 times. And he did it also in 1 Chronicles 21, 2 Chronicles 21, and then 2 Chronicles 22. So he did it in 3, 6? He did it in 9 verses. He changed the name 3 times. And then here in 2 verses, he changed the name 2 times. Well, Revelation chapter, Revelation 22 and 19 and 20, where it says that, you know, you change. You want to change scriptures? We're going to see what's going to happen there. Anyway, so on 2 Kings 9, and let me see. Where was I? What was I? 24. And Jehu drew a bow with his full strength and smote Jehoram between his arms, and the arrow went out of his heart, and he sunk down in his chariot. Then said Jehu to Bidkar, his captain, take up and cast him in the portion of the fields of Naboth the Jezreelite. That's the one that Ahab murdered, his father Ahab. So Jehoram, his father Ahab, murdered the man for his land. And in that same land, Ahab died, because the Most High cursed him like that. You're going to die right there. The same way that you murdered that man, there's the same way that when you die, the dogs are going to eat your blood and drink your blood and eat your flesh. And shit you out. It didn't say shit you out, but you can figure it out for yourself. If an animal eats you, if anything eats you, like a man or a fish, whatever, man, insects, they're going to shit you out. And that's what you deserve. You deserve to be shitted out once that time comes. And that was his lot. That was his fate. That's how the Most High caused him to die. And the Most High is going to do the same thing to a lot of Jacob descendants that are right here, right now. For example, if you fell off at this truth, for example, you think that the Most High is not going to do you harm. Keep on talking this shit, boy. All the beautiful things upon the planet Earth, you're going to be missing it, you know. But you're still going to be greater than John the Baptist and Elijah. You're still going to be greater than Elijah, but still, you know, you're going to be missing out on the greater things. For example, there's going to be a difference between the average Jacob descendant and one that, you know, that is son of Matthew, Matthew 5 and 19. You know, he that teacheth the words and stuff like that of the Most High, the ways and laws, he shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. But he that doesn't teach him and doesn't do them himself and teach others not to keep the law, he shall be called least in the kingdom. But then in Matthew 11 until 14, it says that even the least in the kingdom of heaven is going to be called greater than John the Baptist, which means that John the Baptist is Elijah, which means that Elijah could call fire from heaven. He could wake up dead people. He could make infinite food and water. He can do that. And he could do a few other things. He could see, oh no, that's Elisha. But Elijah could do it too. Oh yeah, he can split the water. He can split the water. Elijah can split the water. So, and Elijah was greatest amongst all of the prophets of the old times. So, you're going to be greater than him. But the difference is going to be, like, for example, like how a lot of people, you can't stand near Mike with singing. Like Michael Jackson, you can't stand next to him. You can't stand next to Michael Jordan in his prime time. You can't. You can't stand next to LeBron James. You can't stand next to, and James is Jacob actually. You can't stand next to Kobe. And by the way, Kobe is actually Jacob also. So James is Jacob and Kobe is Jacob. Those names. I looked them up by accident. I was looking at the variations of Jake. Because my grandfather on my father's side, he was called Kobe. Yeah, they call him Kobe. So I wanted to know what that name was. So I looked it up and it's Jacob. I was like, oh shit. I didn't know that. Of course I didn't. Why the fuck would I know that? Anyway, I didn't know the meaning of my own name until the elder apostle said, "Great millstone, put me on it." I'm talking about my government name, which I like. I like it anyway. It's a dope name. I like it. But anyway, my father gave it to me, so I love it anyway. I love all my names. But anyway, so okay. So Second Chronicles, no, Second Kings 9 and let me see, 25. So okay, Jehoram just got shot in the heart, right? Okay, by Jehu. Okay, so this Jehoram, he died by arrow. So this is how you could distinct two of them. You know, the one died by bowel disease, and the other one, first he got shot, right? And he got injured, and then he fled to Jezreel, and then he was laying there, and then Ahaziah, that murderous son of a bitch, he murdered all his brethren because he was jealous of them, and then he came to he came to Jehoram that was now sick because he was hit because of the king Hazael of Aram. He shot him. You know, there were the arrows and stuff like that. And then he was sick. You know how wounds could be infected and then you can get sick. So that's happened. That's what happened to him. And then later on that day, and then Ahaziah came to him, and then when they were there, they were told like, "Hey, Jehu is looking out for y'all, man. What's up? You want to start something?" And then Jehoram, in his sickness, with all bandages and shit, he took up his horse and he went over there with Ahaziah, and they stood there, and then Jehu, you know, had that conversation like, "Hey, what you about?" "I'm by the body." Damn. He shot him in the heart, and then, you know, the other one started to flee. So going on for him now, what happened to him? So Second Kings 9:25. Then Jehu the then said Jehu to Bidkar, his captain, "Take up and cast him in the portion of the field of Naboth the Jezreelite, for remembering how that when I and thou rode together after Ahab his father," so that's showing you that it is that Jehoram, that Ahab was his father, "Yahweh laid this burden upon him." This is the burden, the curse. "Surely I have seen yesterday the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons," because they didn't just murder Naboth, they murdered their whole family, because the inheritance would then go to the sons of Naboth. They didn't want that. So what did Ahab do? And that wicked demon Jezebel, that Sidonian, that Canaanite, what did she do? They basically caused for the whole bloodline of Naboth to be exterminated, so that the inheritance can't pass over to them. So then they took it. Wickedness. So going on, "And the blood of his sons, saith Yahweh, and I will requite thee in this plat, saith Yahweh. Now therefore take and cast him into the plat of the ground, according to the word of Yahweh." So Jehu remembered the curse that the Heavenly Father put upon them, and he said, like, you know what? According to the word of Yahweh, he said that he would be thrown in the land that his father got with blood. What he bought it with blood. Because after the murder, then he went to go buy it. And then Elijah was right there. And then Ahab said, "Hey man, what are you doing here, my enemy? Why you come here?" And then Elijah explained to him, like, you a murderer, man. I know what you did. He's like, what are you talking about? He plays stupid. But they already knew. Everybody knew. You know, but a murderer he's not gonna admit. You know? Anyway. "Now therefore take and cast him into the plat of ground, according to the word of Yahweh. But when Ahaziah, king of Judah, saw this, he fled by the way of the garden house, and Jehu followed after him, and said, Smite him also in the chariot, right? And they did so at the going up to Gur, which is by Iblim, which is a city. And he fled to Megiddo and died there. So he was wounded there, And then he kept on running with his horse, of course. He kept on fleeing, and eventually he died from the injuries that he sustained. Sustained, fucking fancy word. He died from the injuries that he got. Fucking fancy ass word. He died from the injuries that he got right over there. And so so now again, you had Ahab. You had Jehoram, the older one of Judah. He died by bowel disease. And then Ahaziah is the one that killed the family. Sorry, I think I'm making a mistake here. Damn it. Either it was his father, or I think it was Ahaziah did that. Yeah, Ahaziah did that. Yeah. But Jehoram did other wickedness. Damn, I don't know anymore. Anyway, you can read it for yourself, man. It's right there. I gave you the chapters. If you just read the chapter, you can find it. One of them killed their families. Or it was Ahaziah of Judah, or it was Jehoram, his father of Judah. And they all was the sons of David, right? Yehoiada. But anyway, so okay, that's the... When I explain it like that, it's very easy actually to understand it. But when other people do it, or talk about it, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They say it's a contradiction and all that type of shit. That's because they don't know and they don't read for themselves. So that's one. And there's many other things that would make you think like, hey, what's going on? For example, it says that Ahaziah was 22 years old when he became king. And in the Chronicles, then it says he was 42 years old when he became king. But the funny thing is, Ahab, what was it again? No, not Ahab. His father, what was his name? Jehoshaphat? I think it was Jehoshaphat. He died when he was 40 years old. So how can his son be 42? No, he was 22. But there's I gotta actually make a video about that because I already have it, but I gotta lay it down. So because an image is 1,000 words, a picture is 1,000 words. So if I say it right now, you might be like, but if I show you the documents that Esau has been playing around, then you will understand like, oh, okay, I got it. Because they say it's either a mistake, a clergy mistake. That's why in the New Testaments, that's why in the new translations, they actually did correct it. They said 22 years. So in both verses, it says when he was 22 years. Because in one it says 22, and in the Chronicles it says he was 42, which is not correct. But if you read from Omri to Ahab to him, it is then therefore 42 years. Exactly. Right. But like I said, I need to show you it in order for you to get it. Because if I say it right now, you'd be like, what are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? So you need to see it. When I put it on screen, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I can make the calculations and stuff like that. I understand the 42 years, and I also understand the 22. He was 22 years old. But either it was the mistake, or it was counted from Omri, and then Ahab, and then eventually him, which is 42 years. If you count it, it is 42 years. So it might be written in a mannerism that is talking about that, because that is 42 years from Omri to him, King Omri of the northern tribes. And then Omri, his son was Ahab. Ahab is the one that went with Jezebel. Man, the names is so crazy. But anyway, like I said, like I was talking about that, you need to read for yourself in order for you to be able to understand these things. I haven't read all the Bible, I'll tell you that right now. I can't. There's a few books that I haven't read. 2 Kings. I am doing 1 Kings now for the first time in my life. You think I'm playing? I don't know. I wasn't ready for it. So I just take my time. But I don't have to rush things, man. Ain't nobody rushing behind me and shit like that. If you do that, I'll stab you. Get the fuck from behind me. I do my own pace. Your desire, just do it. Cool cat. Take my time. It might take longer than you. I'm not you. So I have to take it slow. And I take it fast too. But I take it slow too. I might study for like 6 hours or something like that. And then I'd be cool cat for a day or two, maybe, maybe even longer. And then I go and I hit an hour or two. And then I'd be cool cat. And then I might hit another 6 hours. It depends, man. So I study by my own pace. And you might think, hey, he's reading a lot. Yeah, kind of. But I'm not going in a certain chapters, man. I pull precepts from there, but I don't read the whole book yet. And it's better for me like that, because once I start reading, and then I found out like, hey, wait a minute, I saw that there. I was like, oh yeah. Okay, then I can make connections. But if I read it first, I might not find it. I don't know how to explain it, man. It's everything is done in time, in space and time. So there's a few books I haven't really read from beginning to end. Jeremiah, Isaiah. I read the whole New Testament, so that's not it. But the Old Testament, I haven't read a few books. Anyway, but still you need to read it. Why? Because it's good. I know precepts out of those same chapters, but the whole book itself, like I said, from one to the end, didn't do that. And I think that's good, because I'm you could say slow learning or whatever. I'm learning in pace, slow. Don't know what to say. I'm just doing my own pace, not too fast and not too slow. A cool cat for me. That's how I learn. You shouldn't learn on another man's pace. You know, that's why I know when I go up in the scriptures and I'm taking long, I know they're tired. So I leave it. You know, they can't take it. Hey man, you're taking too long for just one sentence, man. You turn into a woman. Ovulating and shit, nipples just shooting milk. So I know, okay. Whatever. Anyway, going back to Baruch. I was gonna read Baruch 4, but it's all good, man. I went into this thing anyway. The other thing concerning, you know, it looks like it's contradictions in the scriptures. It's not. Look like it. For everything, there's an explanation. If you are of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, then you're gonna figure it out. Most of us gonna make you know, and then you can tell others about it, and then they would know. So then it's about, you know, you see a trap, you fall through it. Oh shit! Now you can tell others like, yo, it's a trap right there, and then they don't have to fall through it, like a trap door. They don't have to fall through it unless they go by themselves and still go. Okay, then you're gonna have to excuse me for laughing at you, cause I told you what's gonna happen if you go there, or if you do that. I showed you. I told you. I showed you, and you still went and got yourself hurt. Well, don't mind me laughing at you, boy, cause I hate motherfuckers. And if I tell you something and you still fucking do it, man. Look, other people I understand, you know, they're dumb. But other people that if I think that you are capable of understanding, don't do it, because I will not like you. But other people, you know, I judge people according to how they are, man. Some people, you just look at them and be like, man, you know what, fuck that shit, man. You know, he do dumb shit, but you be like, man, you know what, fuck it, man. And you still try with them, you know what I'm saying? I like people like that, because they're not doing it in wickedness, man. They're not doing it like, fuck this guy, he's better than you. But then you have people that, man, all you have to do is make like 2 or 3 mistakes. I hate your fucking guts forever, man, because I can't stand your shit. Because I fucking know what you're doing, man. I can see you right through your shit, you know? I don't like people like that. And it's just different type of spirits, man. Certain people, I can't fucking stand them, man. You know, but certain people, I tolerate the shit out of them, man. Because I don't know, they're better. I can see that they can't help themselves or something like that, you know? I like people like that. Yeah, they do. But the people that I know that he can't help, I don't like you, man. Because I know you know better. But anyway, fuck that whole shit. Okay, so those are, for example, examples of things that could trip you up. You know, the 3 name changes. The other one says that she's the daughter of Omri, and then the other one says daughter of Ahab. And let me see. You have the 2 Jehodams. Sometimes his name is Jehodam, sometimes it's Joram. You'd be like, what? In the same chapter, the man's name changes 2 times. 2 sentences underneath each other. But then you got to understand, like, okay, Esau's playing around. He's being a demon. And you deal with that. You just let that go. But then you tell only the ones that are worthy of knowing. I don't know if you're worth it. I'll just talk about it. But I mean, like, when we face to face, I'm not going to tell you certain things because I see how you react. If you give them a scripture and then they, they resist, the scripture says, like, give not that which is holy unto the swines and the dogs. Why would I talk further with you? My mouth is getting dry. Shit, I forgot I had the drinks, man. Why would I talk further with you? I know you're about to attack me right now. Don't do that, but just for keeping the peace sake, I'm not gonna say anything. But don't think I ain't gonna get you if I get that power, cause you came kind of trippy. Cool cat. You got the family, right? That you love. You better not play around. I'll back off, but I'm coming back. Yahweh the Son, I'm coming back for you. That shit you was talking, I take it personal. Fuck out of here. You gonna cry today? Shouldn't have done that. Anyway, fuck them. Anyway, certain people you hold to a higher standards, and if they fuck up, then fuck them. Other people you hold to a different standard, and I don't bother myself with them because I laugh at their dumb mistakes. Like, I laugh at that shit, man, because it's funny. I see a Jacob descendant as, oh, he's just like me. He's stupid, and he do dumb shit. But if you talk to him, he gonna get it, man, and he gonna make mistakes and stuff like that. I like that. They're stubborn as fuck, but if you talk to them, they'll try, and I like that. That's what I like. So therefore, when they do dumb shit, like, I ain't tripping too much. It's the serious people that I hate. They're trying to force others to, hey man, you need to do this. I'm thinking to myself, man, you didn't come in the camp like that. In the truth, it took you a few years before you even came out teaching and stuff like that, and now you want to be harsh on the other ones because they don't have that spirit. Yeah, but you need to push them. Was somebody pushing you? That's what I'm saying. I can't stand people like that. That's a hypocrite to me. But there's a lot of examples, man. Let me talk about the scriptures now, because I'm talking too much. Right, going into Baruch, right? Let me finish this off. Now, Baruch 2 and 17 I just read. I'm going to go at 18. No, the hungry soul. Yeah, I got that one too. 19. Therefore, we do not make our humble supplication before thee, O Yahweh, our power, for the righteousness of our fathers and for our kings. 20. For thou hast sent out thy wrath and indignation upon us, and thou hast spoken by thy servants the prophet, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, bow down your soldiers' shoulders to serve the king of Babylon. That's our punishment. Since we didn't want to serve Yahweh, the Most High made us serve Nebuchadnezzar. Thus saith Yahweh, bow down your shoulders to serve the king of Babylon, so that you remain in the land that I gave unto your fathers. Why? Because he wanted us to serve our sentence. That's why he said, bow down your head. Why? Because we didn't want to bow down our head to him. We didn't want to pay the Levites the tithes. So he forced us to pay the tithes, and he forced us to listen to law. Now we had to listen to the law of the rule of the land of Nebuchadnezzar and his area, Babylon. So we had to follow his words. And if you didn't, right? Hey, man. And also, so in Nebuchadnezzar, also all the other captivities too. But since because the Most High wasn't whipping us, so he made us to be whipped by Nebuchadnezzar and the rest of the Chaldeans and the other Babylonians, because it was a heap of people there. Don't forget that part. And then because Nimrod wanted to do that, he put onto them all nations, Aram, Ashur, Cush. They were all there. Ishmael too was all there too in Babylon. But anyway, going on. So 21. Thus saith, okay, I already read that. 22. But if you will not hear the voice of Yahweh to serve the king of Babylon, I will cause to cease out of the city. I will cause to cease out of the cities of Judah, and from without Jerusalem, the voice of mirth, and the voice of joy, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, and the whole land shall be desolate of inhabitants. So the Most, he did that. He already did that. That's why we messed up, and how we are today, how we are right now, right? But the point is this. Not a point, but I mean like a precept that I have, for example, is this. So 2 Chronicles 21 and 8, right? In his days, the Edomites revolted from under the dominion of Judah and made themselves a king. So now Jehoram was basically, was not the king anymore because of the wickedness of him and of the wickedness of his son. Then the Most High caused, let me read it. In the days of the Edomites, in his days, the Edomites revolted from under the dominion of Judah and made themselves a king. So they didn't serve the king of Judah anymore. They now had their own king. I think it was a king from Aram. Then Jehoram, so 2 Chronicles 21:9. Then Jehoram went forth with his princes and all his chariots with him, and rose up by night, and smote the Edomites which compassed him in, and the captains of the chariots. So the Edomites revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. The same time also Libni revolt from under his hand. Why? Here it is. Because he had forsaken Yahweh, the power of his fathers. That's why. That's the reason why basically our hand started to have oil, and all the grip that we had, the hands in the neck of our enemies, all the grip that we had on them, they slipped away. And while they slipped away, they straight up start blasting, attacking and shit, They slipped up, I'm loose. What's up, man? They said, ooh, I'm loose. And then they start swinging, man. And they got Jake, man. They got Jake. And by the way, if you read 2 Kings 3 and also 2 Kings 1, you will read that because Ahab, he was sinning, therefore he lost grip over Moab, man. He wanted to get Moab back into captivity, so he teamed up with Esau. That's when we had Esau under submission. So he teamed up with Esau. Esau had to come. It's like this. You have, colonizing people and stuff like that. After a while, they start kissing your ass, just like South America, for example. They love Esau, man. Like these House Jakes in North America, too. They love Esau, man. The Candace Owens types and stuff like that. No, boy, they fight for Esau. Well, that's what we had when we had power over Edom. We had the king of Edom fighting with us against Moab. So you had the king of Edom, the king of northern tribe, and the king of Judah. They came together, and then they went to go fight against Moab to bring them back into captivity, because Ahab lost the power over them. But why did Ahab lose the power over them? I'm going to read it again, because it says right here, 2 Chronicles 21 and 10. So the Edomites revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. The same time did Libni revolt from under his hand also. Why? Because he had forsaken Yahweh, the power of his fathers. And you might ask yourself, who's Libni and what nation are they? Well, if you read the book of Joshua 12. Joshua 12 and 8. 8 until 24. I'm not going to read everything. 8. In the mountains and in the valleys and in the plains and in the springs and in the wilderness and in the south country, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And that was verse 8. So now I'm going to read verse 15. The king of Libni, 1. The king of Adullam, 1. So then I'm going to read the last verse, 24. So Joshua 12:24. It says the king of Tirzah, 1. All the kings, 30 and 1. So all the 31 kings and kingdoms that they had got their ass smoked. But one of those kingdoms was Libni. So we had them under submission. So we, pay taxes just like the king of Moab in 2 Kings 3 and 5. first 1 until 5. It shows you that they had to pay thousands of sheep, wool, thousands of stuff. Yeah, that was their taxes, man. That was the tribute that they had to pay the King Ahab of the northern tribes, you know, with Jezebel, his wife. But for all the sins that he accumulated, the Most High ripped Moab out of his hand, and he was greedy to get Moab back, man. It's just like Pharaoh, right? Didn't want to let the Jacob descendants go. So guess what? He chased them, right? Well, that's the same thing that happened with Ahab, man. Ahab wanted to chase Moab, but Moab was strong enough now. Why? Because we sinned. So it's just like Joshua 7:11 and 12, that when the Jacob descendants stole, it was actually one man, Ahad. When he stole the Babylonian garment, what happened? About 36 men died. So you're not gonna win. You got like sinners amongst you. You got thieves. You got devil worshippers. You got calf worshippers. You got child sacrificers. You got all that type of shit in you. You're not gonna win, and they didn't win. And then Moab sacrificed his son, and that was that. Everybody was like, "Oh shit, get the fuck out of here. He's gonna win now," because they believed in that shit. Remember, they were the one that was sacrificing their kids also. So when they saw that, they was like, "Oh shit, Baal gonna come now." And that's that. But anyway, yeah. So there you have it. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh is out. And like I said, Yahweh is out. I think I already did the video. But boy, I have a lot of backlog, man. A lot of backlog. Plus I'm doing fun. Let me talk about that. Anyway, plus I'm doing other videos too. So it's not hectic, but you know, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on. Anyway, so Yahweh Tazah, I'm gonna show that video with the explanation of the 22 years old, and then the other one is 42. It looked like a contradiction, but there's two explanations for it. One is the Medomites done messed up, and then they put 22, and the other one is if you count something loose from that is still connected to it, but it's actually kind of loose from it, but it goes all the way back to Omri, the father of Ahab, since he began all the way to the end, which is there in the time of Ahaziah. It was 42 years long. That whole stretch of time, the time period, it was 42 years long. So that is what it could mean. So it has two definitions. But you know what? With these type of things, I would say, seek not the things that are too high heart for thee, because the Most High will show you other things that a lot of people don't understand anyway. So, and this is not for salvation's sake anyway. You know, you could just shut them down by saying what I just told you. But, you know, I ain't tripping too much about it, but still people want to know. I know that people want to know, so I talk about it. You know, so that they know, so that they have comfort and rest of mind. Because I met people that have questions that they can't answer. And then when you give them that answer, boy, they start praising the Most High right then and there, man. Like, man, thank the Lord, man. Now I know, now I understand, and it's like it's like something lifted off from me, like it was heavy on my chest or something like that, lifted off, and now I feel better because I know what went down and what happened and what not, and what I was supposed to do and what I'm gonna do and all that there, because I didn't know. I was in limbo. I didn't know what the hell was going on, but now I know. So that's a good thing. So answering someone, a Jacob descendant that is sincerely out for questions, not that fool that comes like, hey man, so what about this? Huh? Here it says this. No. You don't talk to people like that. But you might take what he says and go break it down for someone else and be like, this is the truth. You don't have to entertain him. You don't have to explain to him like, nah man, that's not what it means. You know? You don't have to do that. You can do it if you want to. But I'll be like, I don't have to do that. I got